Okay, part 7 of the difference between people on the right and the left. So I just got that tip from that lady who went out, $10 tip went out for my car, and I was very happy. Then I decided, let me see what Uber pays. And suddenly I realized that Uber took approximately 50% of that trip for themselves. And I was still under the impression that I'm making 100% of every trip, but I'm just paying down Uber 20% plus the service fee. I call up Uber, and of course it took me, actually there was no call in then. Everything was basically text. I text in, which is annoying, it takes time. So I chatted with one of the representatives, asking why Uber is taking so much. And the response that I got back was, because we anticipated that the way is going to take much longer, but since it didn't work that long, you saved a half an hour, you don't get to get the whole money that you were supposed to get, so you get less now. Which was, by the way, a bogus excuse, has nothing to do with that. I kept arguing back and forth until one of them explained me, okay, here's the deal. You're not really getting the fee, you're not really getting the money that the customer pays and just paying off 20%. It just doesn't work this way. The way it works is, you're being paid like a taxi. You're being paid per mile, per minute. So I looked into it. First I said, I don't know, I was told 20%. And that was the approximate 20% probably what that person told me. That representative who hired me. So basically I looked into it and I realized that basically Uber was paying me 77 cents per mile and 17 cents per minute. That's when I woke up and I realized why by the second week that I worked, right? Remember the first week I made approximately $1,800? The second week I made already approximately only $500. That's when I realized what Uber did is they tricked me. First of all, they tricked me in by having their representatives tell me it's approximately 20%. Then they tricked me because when I signed up, basically it was the New Year's Eve. Everyone was taking cars, going from one place to the other. Wait a minute, I'm not sure it was the New Year's Eve. I think it was actually July 4 weekend, something like that. I think it was July 4, either July 4 or New Year, but it was a very busy holiday, I remember. And I kept getting calls one after the other. I mean, I didn't stop driving. Okay, so long as I was online, it kept coming in. While it was on one trip, it came in another one. And it was fun, I loved it. But by the second week, suddenly things started slowing down. And also suddenly I started realizing I'm not making enough. Most of it goes away for car maintenance and gas. So suddenly I realized that Uber tricked me. They're not even paying me as much. But then something else happened, like within the third and fourth week, suddenly it also became very quiet. I was not as busy anymore. I literally had to decide to change my place where I want to drive. So I started driving in upstate New York. I started driving the area of Spring Valley. I started driving in other places. I went to White Plains. I was trying to go in New Jersey. Whoops, couldn't go online in New Jersey. They didn't allow me. I wondered why it's so slow, and then I opened up the passenger app where the passenger can see where the Uber cars are. Suddenly I realized here's what's happening. Uber basically was flooding the market. They took anyone who didn't have a criminal record. You were accepted to drive Uber right away. They didn't bother whether this is going to affect the current drivers on the road if they over flooding the market. They just didn't care. So basically they were underpaying the drivers crazily while the drivers had an impression of 20%. They were underpaying the drivers, and then they flooded the market as well. And then on top of that, you gotta go by ratings, where people can do with you whatever they want. Simply whatever they want. Okay? So I decided that it came time to check out Lyft. I checked out Lyft, and basically here's what Lyft said. You get 100% of the money, you just pay 20% commission. That's it. Nothing else. It clearly said. I should have taken screenshots of that, but I didn't, because I still trusted that like Lyft is the better one. That's how Lyft came out. They were like, we're not as bad as Uber, we're the good ones. Guess what? It took me some time to realize suddenly that my income with Lyft is dropping. When I realized, and I called them in, and they told me it was never a 20%. I had to argue with them and give them snapshots when I literally paid only 20% commission. They were like, oh yeah, we changed it a couple of months. A couple of months ago, we changed it. Next part in the next video.